The average Marco's Pizza franchise makes the owners around $100,000 a year. We're going to cover what it takes to buy or build a franchise from an existing owner. First, we'll cover the cost that it takes to build a new Marco's Pizza franchise. According to the franchise disclosure document, a Marco's Pizza franchise costs anywhere from $242,000 to $633,000. Those costs are broken down into three categories: startup costs, build costs, and opening costs. Startup costs are costs that you're going to incur before you even start construction, things like franchise fees, licenses, insurance, and other training expenses with the franchisor. Your build costs are going to be the cost to turn either an existing or location into something that looks like a restaurant. These are going to be walls, electrical, plumbing, and things like furniture and pizza ovens. Finally, you'll incur opening costs. These are the costs for things like inventory, supplies, and other items that you have to have on hand in order to start selling pizza. Once again, it's going to cost between $242,000 and $633,000 to build a new location. Next, we'll cover buying a Marco's Pizza franchise, or really any restaurant franchise. We'll start with store level EBITDA, that is the cash flow that's generated inside the four walls of the business. We'll subtract out above store costs, things like payroll processing fees, accounting, and legal fees. That will give us our corporate EBITDA. This is the cash flow that a new buyer would expect to generate from the business, notwithstanding debt costs. We'll multiply that EBITDA by a valuation multiple, typically in the 3 to 4 range for a Marco's Pizza franchise, usually only 1 to 3 unit opportunities. And that will give us the business value or the sales price if you are the seller of a business. Next, we'll take the example of a single Marco's unit. We'll start with revenues, which average about $838,000, food and paper costs of 31% of sales, labor costs 23% of sales, royalties at 5.5% of sales, and advertising at 4% of sales. We use an average rent factor of 4% to arrive at a store level EBITDA of 12%, or about $100,000 annually. That was for a single unit. So at store level EBITDA of $100,000, we're going to pretend that we have 2 units for sale. We'll multiply that $100,000 by 2 units. That gives us a store level EBITDA of $201,000. We'll subtract out G&A at 3% of sales, or $50,000. That will give us a corporate level EBITDA of $150,840. We'll next multiply that by our EBITDA multiple of 4 times, and that gives us a business valuation of $603,360. So this is what we would expect to pay for a 2-unit Marco's Pizza franchise business. Thanks for watching. Feel free to drop a question in the comments below if there's any other ways I can be helpful.